But the great thing about Vince Russo, of course, Lemmi, of course, is aware of Vince Russo's past, but Vince knows a lot about music, and I always love his takes on stuff because he always knows, like, obviously the classics, but he's got a lot of deep cuts, and he knows what's going on behind the scenes. He even inspires other people with their musical talent.
Summer loving had me a blast. But summer loving happened so fast. I met a girl crazy for me. Met a boy cute as could be.
And the ironic thing is, Disco the Interrupter said that while someone was on the phone. That's just the type of person he is.
Yeah.
But of course, Vince, with you being here and my skills in the clickbait industry, I've got to ask two marquee clickbait questions before we get into the lovely music debate. Do you mind?
Absolutely not. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, of course, the first one I got to ask is, do you remember Vince McMahon?
I think so, yes.
From the WWE, do you remember him?
Yes, I do. Yes, vaguely, but I do.
He was the boss guy, so you do remember him?
I think so, yes. Yeah, Mr. McMahon. Was he Mr. McMahon on TV?
Do you mean Linda?
No, Mr. McMahon. I think that was the character he played on TV, I think.
I remember now.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard about this, of course, but he just had that big Netflix documentary. All this stuff's come out about him. Usually calling someone a shithead would be an offensive term. Now it's a term of endearment by the dirty old Vince. So all this stuff's coming out, and all these people are talking about how, like, I interviewed the lovely Francine
Yes.
back in the day, and
I'll do the fingering.
And she told me a story of a really awkward behind-the-scenes meeting with Vince McMahon where he had requested she go into the room alone with him, oiled up. And she was told, oh, you have to compliment him and all this stuff. And she didn't do it. Shockingly, she was released from her contract soon after. What are the chances of that happening? So all this shit going on with Vince and all these crazy stories coming out about him. The big question I would have to ask is, of course, everybody's favorite expert, real tough guy, is Tony Khan. Do you think that we're basically watching a modern day version of a future documentary with the scandal? Because he really loves to hug those guys. Not that there's anything wrong with it. And then there's all these stories about him allegedly getting baked and being high backstage and, as we say, hugging and all kinds of stuff. So basically, Vince, from your perspective, do you think it's inevitable that there is a Me Too coming for TK?
Listen, first of all, let me just say this. My favorite part of the wrestling industry in 2024 are the Tony Khan scrums. I mean, you take those away from me, and I will be devastated. I think Tony Khan is way too goofy, Hughezy, for there to be any kind of future Netflix documentary on him and his goofy ways.
Do you think he has sex?
Bro, listen, we've seen pictures of him with his girlfriend, bro. Very, very, very attractive lady. Very attractive. I would have to say yes. I think he does.
Elton John was married to a woman. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
That's true. That is true.
But I don't know. I just think all this shit about Tony Khan, something tells me, and then you hear these rumors behind the scenes. I don't know. Something's gonna come out that potentially
You fucking mark!
is more than just a fucking mark. I think that there's gonna be scandals of hugs and parties, and I don't know.
Are you being serious, or are you just saying that?
I'm very serious. I think that there's a dark side to him. You don't get to be that obnoxious and smug and not have some type of... And plus, he's a very woke liberal. Yeah. And so was Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you. Lemmy, but in my opinion, what Harvey Weinstein did was wrong. What do you think, Lemmy?
I'm under the impression I no longer have to answer any of your questions.
Oh, shit, it's kicking off.
Free Harvey Weinstein.
Is that you, Lemmy? That's what happens when questions don't get answered.